this was not a scheduled live, so don't worry. I don't have the ability right now to, oh, we're a little crooked. I'm sorry. I don't even know where to put this because I'm on the iPad. I don't know if you can hear me because I think my microphone is being off. But hopefully you can hear me. Let's put it that way. I don't have the ability right now to upload. Let me see if I can show you why. I went into Harbor Freight, and I don't know how to show this to you. I gotta get a quick look at it. There it is. Let's try that one more time. All right. Hopefully you could see that. If not, I'll take a picture of it later for you. I'm just making some scrambled eggs. This was electric. It is electric. I just unplugged it. I gotta wait for stuff to cool off and eat it room temperature or cold. Yummy, right? Ooh, that's a nasty lick. All right, yeah, let's get a little buffer going on there. It is hot and steamy. So I purchased in Harbor Freight. It was $50. It's 25-watt solar panel. Supposed to have 66% more power. Oh, these people are ridiculous. They lie on those boxes, let me tell you. I'm pulling in 11 watts out of 25. Now the cloud in the sky is hotter than blazes out here today. And it's humid. Humid, humid, humid. Well, I got this guy about, I was trying to lower the electric bill so I didn't have to use the 3,000-watt electric stove in the house. So I had gotten this on Amazon. It has a lid. It has 150 watts on low or 600, right? 600 on high. Trust me, you don't need the high. The 150 was burning the eggs the minute they got in the frying pan. So while I'm waiting for this to cool off, I want to make a quickie video. So that's why the live stream. So when you see a video up and it said it was live, it's only because I don't have 3 hours worth of charging my phone again to do the live stream. Damn, we're a mess. I just wet my head because it's that hot this morning. I had my doctor's appointment yesterday. Didn't go very well. My doctor is, I don't think there's a cap on this, is there? Hold on, I don't remember if there's a cap on this. Yeah, there is. My mind's going about 100 miles an hour right now. I barely slept last night, and then when I finally fell asleep, I just passed out. Okay, I can't get it off, so just making a hole. They're clean. I use them for cooking. Don't yell. Gotta have ketchup on the eggs. That's it. So, this is what happened. I'm gonna make a long, I was in there a long time, usually in there like 15 minutes. No, I was in there 40 minutes. 40 minutes. I feel sorry for the lady who had the appointment after me. Let me drink something, hold on. So, and if you're talking, I might not be able to see you because my phone is up front. Good morning if you're here. The chat is below where my screen is broken, so I can't even see it. Let me see if I get the phone. Hold on. So the panel that I got, and I got the big, huge, giant box up here. It's 4.5 feet. It almost comes up to my shoulders. And when I took it out of the box, I quickly realized it's made of glass. the only one they had that I could afford to get me through the next 2 weeks, because we got back-to-back storms brewing in the Atlantic, and one looks like it's going to be really bad. So I can't be without the phone and electricity and the news. There's a lot going down. A cop in Ormond Beach who walked into a gas station that he goes into every day on and off duty. So he was off duty with a male relative in the car. Walked into the gas station, didn't see the two guys working there. One was in the bathroom, he didn't know. And then one guy came around from the side and walked out the door, but he knew the guy worked there. He knew the two guys who worked there, because isn't it like every day, right? It's your gas station. You're there every couple of days, right? Picking stuff up. So the guy walks out, walks to his car, comes back in with a jacket. Obviously, it was a very big gun he was bringing back into the store, not a handgun, or he would have, oh, he would have stuck it in his pocket. He walked up behind him. Let me turn this down. He walked up behind him, and he's a good guy, not a guy who rousts people, very friendly, like your friendly neighborhood walking cop, you know? Always helpful with the community. Everyone loved him. No one had issues with this guy. No one. For some reason, the guy in the store walked up with a gun. I'm going to say something truly horrible right now. I put up the video of the press conference, and I knew something bad was happening. And the guy shot him 15 times in the back of the head. No one knows why. They got both the guys who work there, but I need my news. I can't be without this. Um, yeah, I'm trying to explain to you guys. I can't see the chat. I'm basically just uploading a video. So I don't have time to sit here and for 3 hours uploading a 15-minute video. So um, I kind of don't know you guys. Have you been here before? I finally got the chat up. Hey Carol, how's it going? Yeah, not so great. I had the doctors yesterday, and that's why I was making the update video quick, and then I realized I'm not going to get hardly any charge on nothing today, so I'm just doing the live stream so I don't have to waste the battery on the phone to upload this. It'll upload automatically, so I don't have to waste anything from myself. Went to the doctor. Not a good visit. There's basically nothing I can do. I was hoping there would be some kind of an option. There isn't. So they're having a huge, um, meeting. Happens once a month with the physicians. So he's going to talk to another stomach guy and basically ask him for a second opinion. He's very good at what he does. I'm not sure if he does take the health insurance, but if not, maybe he can coach my doctor to helping me, or help me find another one who may be more helpful than the one I have. Basically, this is it. Gonna go the way my mom did, with her system shutting down. And once you get to this point, unless I could have the surgery, which I can't, and he's in agreement that it's not worth the risk, because you can't, operate on your insides and have slightest possibility you're going to wake up from the anesthesia. Um, so I am where I am. There's nothing we can do about it. And it's going to take me about 3, 4. I don't see him again until 16th of October because it's going to take that long. This guy, as a favor to my doctor, is going to beg him to sit down and go through everything for the last 2 years. So it's going to take him about 2.5 weeks because he's a very, very busy guy because he's good at what he does. Uh, go through everything completely, not just the results from, last month, but all the results I've been going through. Um, Gave me some tips, told me not to bother trying the other, keep trying with the medications that are helping things move along. Uh, but basically, I'm where my mom was. I'm where my mom was. Um, that was a little bit depressing, to say the least. I'm trying to get this in because I didn't even eat all day yesterday. I couldn't. I was very sick all day. I didn't see him till almost 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That was his last appointment. And I ate at 8 o'clock in the morning. All I had was a cereal. And usually that's okay. And yesterday it wasn't. It was not. And when the doctor goes like that, when the doctor makes that face at you when you tell him why you're there, I knew this was not going to be a good thing. So 100% surgery is out because there's absolutely my doctor's. He's got like 5 specialties. Very smart guy. And he's like, absolutely not. He said, that guy just called off the test. He said, then there's no way. There's absolutely no, it would have been a good trial run to see, but doing that test, the colonoscopy, and waking up through that was not worth the risk of dying on the table while we're performing a colonoscopy if anything went wrong. Um, so I don't even know what to say right now. I'm trying to get this in because I have to. My sugar is a mess. And it's really hot, so I had to hurry up. I also had to hurry up and do this before it gets too hot to be able to turn these on. Um, I don't know, you know, he can't even. I'm just trying to get a timeline, you know, just a timeline for where he thinks I am, how close, you know, and give me some ideas about how I can at least try to keep getting stuff in while things are shutting down. And am I doing more damage? Am I making it worse? You know what I mean? So I told him everything I'm doing, the things I've been eating, what I did, what we did with my mother. And I had to explain and talk about that a lot yesterday, and it's very hard. Starving, dying because you're gonna starve to death is not the way to go. And I've been praying for 5 years that this wasn't where I was headed, and I didn't think I was. But it's here, so I'm trying to deal with it. Um, I might go back to the support group I was in when I first got my diagnosis. The ladies were very nice and helpful, but at the same time, I was walking out of there more depressed than I was before I went. It's good to sit with the other people and, but listening to the stories after stories after stories and watching these people come in with their husbands and wives And maybe 6 months in, they're coming in alone. A year later, they're coming in alone. They're slowly but surely separating and then ending up getting divorced. Um, I think that's the most horrible thing on the planet. I can't imagine walking out on your spouse while they're dying of cancer. You know, it's unimaginable that someone you love and live with would just walk out on you while you're dying. Hey, Kim, this is an impromptu because I'm getting nowhere with this stupid solar panel. I'm pulling in 11 watts. It's hot. There's not a cloud in the sky. And that's all we're pulling in at a 25. I'm getting nowhere. But it's enough to keep the small battery charged, enough to charge these, this and the tablet up. So I was making eggs, trying to get stuff done. Have you been here a while? Oh, you can do the dishes later. Hell with the dishes. I'll send you paper plates. Um, did you just check in now? I went to the doctor yesterday. Did you hear all that? So the doctors keep doing what I'm doing. Okay, keep doing what I'm doing. It didn't go well. And without the surgery, to be able to take the tumors out of the way, and it wouldn't matter because they probably still keep growing back. Whatever happening is going to happen regardless. He said, it's not just one corrective surgery where they're going to go in and remove stuff. He said that's going to be again and again and again to keep removing tumors and masses that are growing. Good morning. Oh, yeah, I'm not getting half of my emails. I don't know what's going on. We got a lot happening because I live near the army and we're getting nothing. I'm not getting text messages. I tried making phone calls. It wasn't working yesterday. The only good thing is it keeps the spam jerks away from calling every stupid day, like 50 times a day. So basically, I'm where I am. Same thing with my mom's gonna happen. That's where I am. He's going after another doctor who he knows very well, and they have a big meeting once a month for doctors of this particular group. And he's gonna take all my information, sit with him, talk to him during the meeting, and then meet with him later and ask him for consultation, second opinion kind of thing to see if he doesn't take my insurance. He's in the group that does, but he may specifically not take it. So if anything, he's just gonna beg him for help. See if he can, at least give me some guidance because I'm not getting it from the doctor I currently just went to. He couldn't believe that he just like, okay, if something's wrong, come back again. He was disgusted yesterday with the woman doctor, and he knows her. He knows her, and he was very upset with the way she just let me go. Well, can't have surgery. See ya. How do you let someone walk out the door who's dying and can't eat? So he's trying with this guy, and this guy only takes referrals of the highest kind because he's very busy. So at least if he can let me know where I am. I just need to know where I am and how far. If he can give me a timeline, that's all I'm looking for. Because I'm going to have to start going to the VA, which is just lovely. No, nothing like that. Mm-mm. it's too much to go through. No bread, no oatmeal, nothing, nothing. It has to, when you chew it, it's got to disappear into nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, yeah, I know it's going to be scary. I kind of already know the timeline. It was 16 months before my mom ended up in the hospital the first time we had to take her, but she had other bad issues. She had cervical cancer really bad that she battled for about 27 years. That just kept spreading. And after my mother's fourth surgery, she said that's it and let it go. Um, yeah, they gave me a whole, no fruits, no nothing, just Jello, soup broth, next to nothing food. Um, so some of the stuff I've been eating, he said, eat what I can eat right now while I can. Um, and that's the best I can do. I broke down the other day. I did. I snapped. I was so hungry. I drove to McDonald's and I ate that as fast as I could because I got to eat quickly all at once or else I can't get it in. If I stop and start, I can't finish eating what it is. The stomach, everything blows up so big and the stomach shuts down. But the fact that I threw up water the other day is very worrisome. And the word worrisome to a doctor means holy shit to you and me. Okay? So if the doctor says this is a worrisome thing, that's a holy shit moment. All right, that's their way of telling you, wow. He was very upset. He tries not to, but he's invested a lot of time in just watching this. Now, someone had sent him a 2-hour video that one of the doctors in New York, who was the very first doctor to start treating World Trade Tower, September 11th, first responders with the cancers. It's a 2-hour video. My doctor got 20 minutes in to a 2-hour video of this guy explaining and bringing firemen and cops and EMS for them to meet some of the patients that he's been seeing and explaining what was wrong, interviewing them to help other doctors who may run into one of us. You can't just go to a regular doctor. They have no idea how to treat you. The VA is so overcrowded. I had a hamburger and french fries. I ate it as fast as possible. I was starving. I couldn't take smelling it anymore. And I broke down and ate it. I was sick for 2 days. It was kind of worth it. I had to. I also, every once in a while, I have no cholesterol in my blood. The cancer's eating it up like crazy. I have no good cholesterol and no bad. So every once in a while, I gotta eat something greasy and nasty just to keep the cholesterol going for my heart. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. So he told me to give the guy 2 weeks to get through this. I got to go back for my DEXA scan. He wrote the order out, but I think this place needs him to call. So I got to call them later. Oh, and then I have to deal with this. Now, I knew this was coming with all the revamping and trying to get all the freeloaders and people who shouldn't be on it. Look what I got yesterday. Yeah, 10 pages in here for a review, re-evaluation. I'm like, and I told him about it. I said, they're going to be contacting you because they're going to want medical information and to back up, what I'm saying and stuff. So please beware. I let the nurse know this is really important. I need you to be on the lookout for this in the next couple of weeks because they're going to make a redetermination And I won't get the answer on whether or not I'm going to keep getting a check until January 1st when the new check comes in. They'll let me know whether or not I'm going to get paid in January. Now I got 3 months to wait and sit on this. I did this already. Florida promised I'd never have to do it again, especially after I got the 9/11 diagnosis. And with the polio crap, that's a lifetime. So I wrote down my mom's name, her birthday, so they can go back and look at the whole, our whole thing. I'm like, you people have been giving me a check since I'm 12 years old for this crap. Knowing that I couldn't do it. And then I voluntarily got off and went to work. I went back on in 2000, the end of 2002, almost 2003. I had enough money in the bank to hold me over and wait for them to decide and go through my medical records. Were they going to put me back on for the polio, or were they going to go with the new 9/11 cancer being disabled thing, or lump them together? So they decided just to keep it the original diagnosis that yes, I tried to go to work, I had a heart attack. We're not sure, it's still early for the 9/11 thing because it was only a year after. So they just shoved me back on for the disability, which is fine. I was okay, but Florida promised when I got here I would not have to do this again. So now we have to wait till January to see what the hell they're gonna do. Isn't that nice? So I'm trying to get everything done as quickly as possible in case there's any problems. I hopefully there shouldn't be. Once they look at my mom and realize that I got the polio from her, and how long this has been going on. Because they got to make sure what's wrong with you didn't spontaneously disappear and you had miraculous healing. What a pain in the ass. Sorry. I know it's the morning, but damn, it's hot. So I figured I'd make some eggs. What's new with everybody else? How's your day going? It's just hot. There's no wind. Probably won't come until like 2 o'clock. We got two crazy storms coming. One looks worse than the other. The second one, so the first one that's going to be coming isn't that bad. It may either break apart or travel up into the Atlantic, and Nova Scotia is going to end, in Jersey, you're going to end up getting hammered. These two may actually miss and just ride straight up right into Halifax Harbor. That's where my grandma's family lives, my father's family. Right on the harbor too. There's little hobbit houses that are like built in, actually into a hill. It's the strangest thing. Half of the house is actually buried underground. But they took a hill, carved some out, so half the house, all the bedrooms are underground, and only the front half of the house has a little bit of a roof coming out of the ground. It's like Lord of the Rings shit. I love that little house. They're tiny little crazy houses. Oh man! Ooh, that's too cold, too quick. Holy shit, no wonder everybody's running around up there with their heaters on. Oh my god. Although I might be happy with that because I think we're going to have a long drawn out summer. I got a funny feeling it's going to be like the year before, not last year, the year before, where it was 90 degrees on Halloween. Oh wow, that's not good. Everybody needs water. We need the rain. I love the rain. I'm I'm strange. I love the rain, but living here, you gotta love the rain. Not the rain because everybody runs and hides. Then we had some guys. He has problems. I've seen him around for the last couple of years. He was snapping today. He was outside the dollar store. He was throwing the pool, the noodles, those foam noodles. He was throwing them. He took the box and just chucked them all over the place. I pulled down my sunshades in the front and I saw a woman come by my door. I was like, "Is he okay?" She goes, "Yeah." And I was gonna open my door and let her get in. You know, sitting. I was back here, and I leaned up front, and she was standing by my window. I said, "You all right?" And she says, "Yeah, he's just mad and pissed off. I think he's leaving." Oh, there he goes. And he just threw everything that was just standing outside the dollar store. So I said, "I'm going to unlock my door. You know, he comes back, just jump in the driver's seat. I'm right here." And she's like, "Okay, thank you." You know, I felt bad. She couldn't get back to her car. She was parked far away and she had to pass him to get to the car. You know, I didn't want her standing outside, you know, in case, you know, usually he don't do nothing, but he gets very loud and angry. You know, he's having a bad day. So, I don't know. So, it's going to be a while before we get the shitty news next month. But, so I got to figure out when I'm going to get I got a month to get the DEXA scan done. I'm afraid to go back for that one. I went from 3.2 to 4.1. The test ends at 2.5. So anything over the 2.5 is, you know, it's like, holy shit. Um, and to jump 10 points in a year and a half, that was a lot. That was because the bone cancer was kicking in. And I have to get that done. Um, I don't know. That's the one I really don't want to. Out of everything, I don't want to go back for the bone scan. I don't, because I know they're going to make me go through it twice in the same day. You have that done once every 2 years, and that's when something's wrong. If not, you have it once every 5 years. That's how strong this itty bitty thing. It's a little arm. You lay down on the table, and there's like a little U-shaped thing like this, and it goes back and forth over you. The thing that scans you is only this big. Oh yeah, I got that at the dollar store. This smells real good. Scans you up and down like this. This thing emits so much radiation. It's incredible that you can only do this every 2 years. That's a minimum amount of time to go back in that machine again, unless you're sick. There's a couple of machines and MRIs and CAT scan machines that you can only go through if you actually have cancer. Um, but last time they made me go through it twice, and I was pretty sick for about 3 weeks after that. So I'm not looking forward to that one again. But I got to see if I can get back to the same woman, because I'm in that study, the group of 25 first responders. I was saying we were in groups 1, 2, and 3. So I got to try to get an appointment back with her again. If not, I just got to get it done and tell them to send her the results so she can put it in, because they're logging this, you know, for other people coming after us. They're trying to get a database for people who are coming down with cancer from New York and New Jersey. But crazy crap. Let's see, what else? I think that's it. I gotta finish filling out my 20 pages. Half of it I don't think I have to fill out. But I don't know. So yeah, not fun. I think I poured water into the iced tea. Yep. It was, he was a little upset that I couldn't hold down fluids. Well, I hadn't really eaten anything. But the good thing is that it came out clean. The water went down, came out the way it went down. Nothing mixed in it. It was just water. He said no food, no acids, and stomach juices. I said no. It came. The water went down and came up perfectly clean, and it was in there for about 15 minutes before my stomach said nope, and just that was it. I said no warning. I wasn't nauseous. Just all of a sudden, I got a pain in my stomach, and up came the water, and like a whole cup of water too. All that went. That was it. It was done. Um, that's when things are not good. So when that happened, I tried not to eat. So there are days where I'm gonna have to not eat at all, which is difficult with the sugar, and that's why the sugar has been crazy all over the place. I got to keep an eye on that constantly. Yeah, I know, that's the bad thing. There's not being able to hold down fluids. I said, I told him no matter what I drank, I said I went for almost 10 days on the smoothies before I couldn't take it anymore and made a sandwich. He says, I know it's difficult. I said, it's been 6 weeks, that I've been doing this. I said, it's getting easier. I said, the heat was helping because it was so hot and humid. You don't want to eat, and all you want is like soup or something. I know that sounds silly, but I like the soup and eating hot food, temperature wise, not spicy. Hello there. Um, uh, what was I saying? I forgot. I got so much on my mind today. I can't even think straight. I'm trying to get this in. If it's too much hotter. Oh, we got a breeze. Hallelujah on that one. But hanging this stupid thing out the door is driving me insane. And the fact that it's made of glass, what a pain. And then I thought, well, I would save it and keep it for the winter, you know? It's so big, I got no room in here for this 4-foot giant. So it's only that wide, about a foot, about 14 inches wide. But the problem is that it's 4.5 feet tall and it does not fit sideways across the van. I don't even know where to put it, except for I prop it up at the door and I put the cardboard in front of it, and then I have a lounge chair pads. That's what's padding the bed. I have two of them. So I take one off and I put it in front, and then I sandwich it in between and tie it to my gate. That's a sliding door. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying, at least, little by little. But yeah, but at least I'm not dreaming about barbecue anymore. I had told him that. He started laughing. I said the first 2.5 weeks, I was dreaming about food, barbecue, ribs, chicken. He was laughing. So he told me what to steer away from. So I said, he said, there's, only so much nutrition you can get out of hummus. You know what I mean? So I don't know. The look on his face was not a good one. For some reason, I thought I bought spray. I think I didn't. I was just looking at my can, and I think I forgot to grab that at the dollar store because I don't see it anywhere. Nope. Lord. They don't open till like after 9 o'clock. Yeah, I know. I bought, like these things just to have something. also I forgot to check. All right, those are good. I said, you know, puddings and stuff like that. So I was telling him about the smoothies and things like that. He said, watch the ice, how cold I'm drinking stuff. It'll like make the stomach spasm. Anything too cold. He said, so watch the temperature with the ice. I said, yeah, I got to do that just because of the heart. I can't drink stuff that's too cold. Which I haven't figured out what drinking something really cold has to do with your heart, but it actually does. Um, yeah, there's like 500 messages going past my screen. Um, a police officer was shot 15 times in the head yesterday at a gas station that he goes into like every single day by one of the clerks that works there. Um, you may have missed that in the beginning. He's a good guy. You know, he's not a bad guy. He hangs out. He's probably a walking officer. And you know, guy's got no complaints on him for like 10 years. He's still kind of a rookie, and he involved with community stuff with the kids and plays basketball. He's a good guy, and nobody hates the guy. You know, he's a good man. He cuts people breaks. He's not a, excuse me, ball buster. Okay, he's not running out there being an ass. You know, it's awful. And a member of his family was sitting in the vehicle while this was happening inside. Not good. And of course, this particular sheriff is Chitwood. He's a hell of a guy. Um, he don't like this. He's one of the good old boys. You know, we're gonna get the bad guys. Um, let you slide on something, but when it comes to stuff like this, he is on a mission. We had so many helicopters and stuff. I didn't realize how close it was to where I was yesterday. And I was like, what is going on? They're looking for somebody. They are hunted. They are on the hunt. And yeah, they were. They were. They got him. Because the idiots always go home. They always go home. It's like you do something that bad and you go running back to your house. You dumbass. Which is good. You know, he ends up catching him, but yeah. I don't know. Oh, here comes the lawnmowers. Well, I can't move today because I got stuff outside. 4-foot solar panels. Like, now it's just become a ramp for the bugs. It looks like a little doggy ramp. I said, now I just made a runway for the ants to get in. I have a couple of glue traps I'm gonna just place on the top. So in case anybody walks up, they can't get, you know, when they come across into the door, they're gonna walk through the glue traps. I gotta do that in a minute. I gotta go dig them out from under my seat. I forget where I put the other one. I think I just dropped it straight down next to the bed by the door. At least I got everything done. So, that's all I can think of. What's everybody else doing? What's everybody? Yeah, we have two. One looks worse than the other. So the second one coming looks like it might give us some problems on the way by, but I think the way the wind has shifted now, that they're just gonna do this. They're gonna come right at us and do one of these. So I hope it just blows out the sea. That's why I said most of them are now in this pattern where they're hitting New Jersey and bouncing off Jersey and Connecticut and headed right to Nova Scotia. I don't really ever remember a lot. Oh, good. Um, I don't really remember. I mean, I know they get crazy storms and then, what we call nor'easters, where it's just a blizzard, for days on end. But I don't really remember many hurricanes passing us by in Jersey and hitting Nova Scotia this way. It's like they got enough problems just getting through the winter up there. And I feel sorry, yours is coming early. Ah, yeah, I know. I noticed that. I noticed that. Most of the storms have, even here, you'd think with all the rain we were getting, we are so dry. We are under our rain amount again. And it was raining twice a day. Raining twice a day like it usually does, but not the amount of rain we normally get every day. We get a morning rainstorm, or one at 2 o'clock and then again at 8 o'clock. And it always seems to be the 2 o'clock rain and somewhere around 6 to 8 or 8 to 10. And I woke up, there were puddles everywhere. I slept through it. I had my side windows open. I gotta remember I have to shut them before I even think of laying down and watching something at night. And just keep those back windows shut. But it was so nice and windy and cool last night. I kept them open. I fell asleep watching NCIS. No, I have yours over here. It's up front. I keep that one up front. Hello, Maria. How are you? This is that metal one. It's so hot this morning. Oh, ow. I got bit. Oh. Can't you mow the other side of the park today, please? But it's still very sad here. Oh, mama. Somewhere in my county, and it's a big ass county. The county I'm in is the biggest one in Florida. It's enormous. It takes up a whole quarter of the state. Um, they had a vigil. Someone showed up talking smack, and he did something and was knocking over all the candles and the flowers. People lost, sorry for the language, their shit yesterday. 6 men beat the ever-loving pee-pee out of this guy. They couldn't take it, especially not in this county. Nuh-uh. Nope, nope, nope. This is one badass county when it comes to, let's say, retribution. Because they don't take kindly to people infringing on other people. No matter no matter who they are. They may hate you till the day they die. But if someone's messing with you in your time of need or grief, or, you know what I mean? Unjustified being an ass to you, your worst enemy here will defend you. I swear to God, that's why I like being here. That's why my family's always lived here. 100 years of my family has lived in this one area. They stick together. It could be your worst enemy. And if someone beating on you and you're outnumbered, your worst enemy is going to come out of his house, walk across the street, and help you. they don't sit by, they don't let it roll off their shoulders, which sometimes they should. Um, but when they see injustice or, you know, something especially like this, they're very religious here, extreme. Well, this has got to be one of the most religious counties in the state. We have, I had put up a picture of it. Um, because of the military, there's so many religions here. You know, they church for everyone. And this is beautiful property. It looks like a park. There's a Greek Orthodox church, a Baptist church, and next to the Baptist, in between the Greeks and the Baptist, is Bethel, a temple, a Jewish, you know, synagogue. You know, all together in one property, just side by side. And they purchased this because that's how they are here. That's how they are. It don't matter what you believe. You can believe whatever you want, but we all human, and that's it. Tolerance. This county is nothing but tolerant to anyone. Interracial couples, everyone is welcome here. It doesn't matter. They got Indian temples down the street. It's just everything. Everything. You know, no one messes with anybody else ever down here. Not when it comes to religion. And when it comes to something like that, forget about it. These people lose their shit. That's the only time these people, you know, snap and do something bad. And I couldn't believe this guy even thought of doing that in this county. I really don't. Hmm. Oh, we got that now. We passed. We passed open carry. We passed open carry. Anybody, because of what's been going on, and especially with what just happened, that actually helped us pass that law. And we vetoed the ban. Vetoed the ban. Open carry for everyone. So, which is good. It's good and bad, you know, in a sense, it's good and bad, you know, but you know what? I'd rather have it than not. I really would. I don't care. You know, there's more good people than there are bad people that pull stuff like that. And as far as guns and things are concerned, that's normally either a family matter, okay, where people aren't just running around shooting people on the street just because they freaking hate you. They really don't. It's either got to deal with some kind of drug issue, like you know, a gang or something like that, or it's personal matter within a family. There's a lot of family violence that goes on, um, and which is fun. Oh God! But I know it's not to laugh at, but it's just the South. Florida is a whole different place unto itself. The South is different, very different place, you know. But yeah, I was glad. I was glad because some woman who worked at Walmart, and I'm assuming probably at the courtesy counter, because they're kind of nasty over there when you try to return something in Walmart, got into an argument with a customer. The Walmart woman, the worker, turned around, grabbed her purse, pulled out a gun, and shot the customer. It was in a bad area, let's say, um, but where it's, you know, a daily kind of occurrence. But I couldn't believe, don't argue with no one that works for Walmart. I haven't set foot in the big Walmart in over a year and a half. over a year and a half, I've been doing the pickup. I sit in the parking lot, order what I want, and they bring it out. I don't even go in there no more. No, no. And this was the morning. It was like 9 o'clock in the morning. I was like, you people just open. That's insane. So don't fight with no one in Walmart if you're down in town here. Uh, but had somebody else, stepped in, and nobody's just, you know, everybody just sitting there letting it happen because they're too busy recording it, and for this. It's crazy. It's crazy. And these are not people who are born and bred down here. You know, strangers will come and help you. You know, um, that's why I like it here. I always have. Even in New Jersey, people would step in, and Florida and New Jersey, basically the same state. A lot of good. Hey, Greg, how's it going? Um, Basically, same people. Same families. Um, I don't know. Everybody's just sad. Everybody's just walking around like they're in shock still. Very quiet out. Not a lot of people driving around. A lot of people have left already. Oh, topic is whatever the hell we're talking about. I went to the doctor. I'm very sick. I'm kind of coming to the end. And damn, I look horrible. Let's put that back up. I'm very sick. I can. Have you watched the channel for a while, Greg? You know why I'm sick? I was the September 11th first responder to World Trade Towers. About a month ago, I had to stop eating solid food because we ate when the towers came down and we got caught in that ash cloud. We ate asbestos. It went in our mouth, up our nose, and swallowed it, and it went through our whole system. We didn't have water because we don't carry water with us. And I don't know why police cars aren't stocked with a case of water. I really don't. Firemen don't carry water. Cops don't carry water, especially down here probably, yeah, but up north there's a store every 50 feet. Or, a food cart or a food truck or something in the street in New York and New Jersey. No one carries water up there. So we got very sick, and so at this point my digestive system is shutting down and rejecting food and fluids, water, anything. So I had to meet with the doctor yesterday, and they're getting me taking my information to a specialist on Thursday, and it's going to take him about 2 weeks to go through the last year and a half of tests to kind of see how long this is. My mother was a first responder with me, and it took her 16 months to die of this diagnosis that I got. I have 3 masses in my intestines. So the cancer has moved in there, and that's kind of, this is it. How long it takes, it takes. It took my mother 2 years to slowly die. You die of starvation. You can't eat anymore. And I gotta fast at least 2 or 3 days out of 7. And that's really hard not to eat all day. It really is. Especially when there's a McDonald's and a Zaxby's and a Chick-fil-A every 50 feet. So that's rough. And of course, there's a Kentucky Fried Chicken about to open. And why they do this, I don't know. Every single gym in the state of Florida has some kind of fast food restaurant either directly next to the gym or in the next parking lot. So you got to pass it coming and going to the gym. Thanks, Teresa. I appreciate it. See, what am I getting? Hot as blazes, and all we're getting is 11 watts out of this 25-watt guy. I got to get a new solar panel. And yeah, someone took my solar panels while I was in a grocery store parked around the corner, and which was easier for me to get a shopping cart. I should have parked by the front door. I didn't. Live and learn. Live and learn. I won't be parking over there anymore. So I had to go get a stupid solar panel that doesn't really work right just to get me through the next 2 weeks because it's still 90 degrees. And I can hear the little heat bugs, the locusts. Guys are screaming today. Oh, I'm trying to get off of this. I had to throw on a dress to get to the store today. Oh, but that's kind of that. I'm trying to think of anything else we saw. I told you about that. I'm trying to think of any more crazy crap that's happened down here. But yeah, just everybody's sad. And just everybody's walking in slow motion. People are at traffic lights. They're turning green, and they're all just sitting there because everybody's doing this. At the traffic lights, they can't stop. They can't stop. No, there's no. It wouldn't matter. Honey, these guys walk around when they walk around with bolt cutters that are only this big, that you could actually fit in your pocket. Block cutters. They're gonna get it. They're gonna get it. And there's really no way. Yeah, everybody just walking around in the days. They're not even, and look, they're just, just stumbling around and driving really slow, you know? Everybody's like in slow motion. They will be for quite a while, especially here. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to stay on the outside of everything. Yeah, I did. I was watching everybody in Spain. They're even these people are risking their lives in South Korea, um, a couple of countries where they shouldn't be doing this. China. Oh, it's been outrageous. It's been outrageous. I think that's why, I don't know why Trump is going to England. He just left a little while ago. We had a crap load of, planes and things. And I don't know if he was here or in New Jersey. He might have left. I thought he was going up to Jersey, to his house up there. And Richard had the trailer. His trailer was only 20 minutes down the road from Trump's big house in Bedminster. That's where his trailer park was. Okay, thanks, Teresa. Yeah, I've not been getting, because they keep cutting out turning off our phones and our text messages and stuff. When things are going kooky over here, we got a lot going on with the military and stuff. Which, behind the lawnmower, there's just been a mass of helicopters for like the last 2 weeks, in and out of here, in and out of here. And they're just hovering. I don't know what they're doing, but they're hovering. Oh, thank you. finally turned it off. Give that thing a break over there. So I'm not getting emails, and some days I don't get any text messages. Phone didn't ring all day, and I'm looking, and I wasn't getting incoming, and I wasn't getting outgoing. They just snap those phones off, and you can stream. You can watch anything you want to watch, but you can't Google. You can't get on the internet to search for nothing. You can't text, and you can't make phone calls. No, no. They're not bothering anybody in a car as long as you're not sitting outside barbecuing in the parking lot or hanging outside. And if you're just sleeping in your vehicle and that's it, they're pretty much leaving everybody alone because they know no one's got nowhere to go. And half of 50%, yeah, 50% of the people who are homeless in Florida are homeless because of the hurricanes, because they lost their house and they couldn't afford to fix it. They got just the laws down here about your property, and otherwise you're responsible for the taxes. And what they did to try and make it easier financially on someone who just lost their house, if you got to take down a 3-bedroom house and have it demolished, you have to pay for tearing it down. You have to pay for them carting it away. And if there's any kind of mold on it, it's going to cost you probably, it was going to cost me $10,000 to get rid of the house, to cart it away, and another $10,000 for the disposal of the hazardous materials, the mold on it. It has to be burned, and it has to be burned in a specific place. You can't just do that here, and it's very expensive. Once your house goes, oh God, the love bugs are back. There they are. Ooh, there he goes. No, get out. Thank you. Um, the disposal of your house. Now, even if you're just going to sell your land, you're not going to get money for the land. You're going to get nothing for the land. Nothing. You're going to get maybe $5,000 for your land. And it's going to cost you like $30,000 to get rid of everything. And your furniture and stuff like that, that's a separate fee. So altogether, for a double wide mobile home that was 60 feet wide by 100 and about 110 feet long, was going to be $25,000 to $30,000 for me to get rid of all that. When the guy told me that the contents of the house were a separate fee, I was like, I can't even do that. So what they did was, getting to why we're all homeless here, you have the option of walking away, abandoning your property. The state comes in, repossesses the house and the land. They sell it off, and someone buys it and disposes it for you, or the state comes in, removes, tears down your house, and then auctions off the property. They may take your possessions from inside if the mold isn't bad enough. If it's more on the outside than the inside, they'll take everything inside, auction it off, kind of thing. But you have the option here to abandon your property, because nobody has got $30,000 just to tear their house down and throw it away, even if they're just going to move anyway. So that was the option. I chose, packed my crap, and just drove away. I just drove away. They came and took it, the state, and auctioned off what was left. I know you don't have you don't have the luxury of going back to the auction and buying back some of your stuff. You can't do that. That's the one thing. Whatever you leave forever. You can't go back and, buy it at the auction. Um, So that's half of our homeless is because of hurricanes. So the other half are uh, veterans, military mostly, and maybe 5% visitors, kind of, but not now. Now everybody's coming here, and I don't know why. We don't have any great things down here. There's not huge amount of programs. The churches are running out of food. They used to give you 2 weeks at a time. Now they barely give you enough to get through 5 days. 5 days. 5 days. One day I'll show. I'll make a video showing you what you get. You get one package of spaghetti, one bag of rice, a little bitty itty can of spaghetti sauce, 2 cans of tuna fish, one box of macaroni and cheese. That's it. That's it for 7 days. It's getting rough. It's getting rough. And so many places are doing it that some churches are getting shorted on food because so many are trying to hand it out that the food's running thin. Let me read that minute. Okay, still the same. So yeah, so the cops are being respectful. You know, you're not sitting there getting drunk, drinking, and hanging out, and being loud all night long. As long as you're just sitting in your car with your windows, you're all contained and sleeping. That's it. And that's what I do. When I'm going to the place to sleep, I pull over at, like, I pull into McDonald's or a Starbucks or something, get everything done, put my close up my windows, block everything up. So when I pull in the spot where I'm gonna sleep, I turn the car off and jump in the back and close the curtain. And that's it. I'm done. Night night. I don't get out. I don't do anything outside the car. I'm not going to get something out of the back. I make sure if I got to do that, I do it before I get where I'm going to sleep. That's the most important thing. And as long as you're doing that, you're good to go. You really are. But they're being nice. The only thing people that they're bothering is the people sleeping on the side of the road in tents and stuff like that, tent camping, people sleeping outside on the street. That's the only ones that they're picking up, and they have like 15 buses that they converted into a whole bunch of bunk beds. They took a 100 or 150 passenger buses, these big, long, extra big, transportation, but party buses, say you rent for a group of people. I used to have them for the seniors and the veterans. We could fit 125 people in one bus. That's how big our bus was. So they took these big buses. They have a toilet and they all come with two bathrooms in the back. Um, and it's a place to sleep, and they're all bunk beds. Looks like the army in there, like a train cars, and they each one can hold up to 60 people. Um, and it's just a place to sleep for the night. Some have food, some don't, some just and they pop up and they're moving around. So they've been trying to at least do that for the people. So that was nice. That they're doing that all over the state in different areas. And I've noticed there's a lot less people outside. And you see these buses just pulling up into different places. And then during the day, people are walking around handing out the addresses of where the bus is going to be that night. And they'll stay in one place for a while, then try to get some people some help, and then move on to move down the road or to the next city, So each county's trying to do stuff like that. And that started with the churches just converting their buses, trying to get the women, women and kids someplace because Daily Bread completely shut down and went out of business. They're gone. I don't know what people are going to do for getting their mail. Um, because you need to have an address to collect, you know, to, I don't know if you need it to collect from the military. You probably do need an address. Um, but Daily Bread was providing a mailing address for homeless. Um, and now they just shut down, just closed. That I know so many people who were using that and now got nothing. They can't afford, this is killing me. It's 300 or 350 for the year for the PO box. Actually, yeah, about 325 for the year. I pay 3 months at a time to make it easier on myself. I could pay 2 months, but it's easier for me to lay out almost $100 for 3 months. So I just that's due next month. Crap, I forgot about that. So what I might do is go back to Harbor Freight, get the $120 panel instead of the $300 one from Amazon, and see if I can use two of these together or try to return this one. This sucker is so big. That's why I'm keeping the box. I got like 18 days before, well, no, 23 days before I get paid again. So if I can not break it, scratch it in any way, that's why I'm taking such good care of this thing. If I can return it in one piece, I can use the $50 towards the one that's 130, and just either return it and get $60 off the new solar panel, or if they won't take it back, hook them up together because they're the same plugs. Then I had to do a little electrical here. I'll show you. It came with different plugs, so I had to splice my wires together here and here for the hot to this one, and it's working. Did you see that? I learned that from Matthew on Van Life Plus. I was watching him change out the plugs up on the roof. I think he was helping Amber with a solar panel. And he said, just clip these off, snap the wires together. There you go. And I did it. I broke my own wires first before I was gonna cut theirs. And then in the box was a piece with a plug and two bare ends. And I said, oh, this must be in case you got different plugs. And I remembered his video and him up there on her roof clipping, twisting, and putting new plugs on. I said, well, I can't put the plugs on, but I can twist the wires together. And it's working. Yeah, better than nothing. I couldn't be here with nothing. I just grabbed some batteries for the fan in case. I wasn't sure when it was supposed to rain today. So I grabbed a pack of batteries for these guys. This runs on 4 AA's. So at least for one night, I have a backup. Because once you shut those windows, just because of the humidity, it's hot in here. It's stuffy, you need the fan on. Also, having the fan on keeps the windows from fogging up. Now they get foggy on the outside here because it's so humid here, and we're surrounded by water that you get all the windows. Everybody's car in the morning is covered with water, so that I don't care about. Everybody's driving around with wet cars. Everybody in Florida looks like they slept in their vehicle all night because the windows are all fogged up and full of rain. So I don't mind this time of the year so much because it's kind of camouflaging you a little bit. But yeah, So, but it keeps the inside from fogging up. Well, and I fixed my rechargeable one. So if I can get my big one charged up to 100% today, I can charge this one. This was on 70% and I used it on low. I finally found a way to get this off. My friend had one and showed me they do come, this little cage comes off. She showed me how to get it off. I did it. Thank you, Melissa. Um, yeah, so I cleaned it up and it lasted all night and it doesn't take too long. It only takes like 2 watts uh, to charge it. So, and it takes about 2.5 hours to charge it to 100%, but it lasts for like 9, 10 hours, even on medium. So I figured between that one and the little battery guys, because still cooking, you know, I've been using my electric pot because everything was going so well with the new solar panel. I had so much electricity, I didn't know what to do with it. Yeah. um, but yeah, I gotta take care of that next month. So next month's gonna be another rough month. Another rough month. New solar panel, the mailbox. This is ridiculous. That's why everybody's like, I'm saving money. I don't know who the hell's saving money being out here between the repairs and tires and extra oil changes. It's insane. It's costing me more to be homeless than it was living in my trailer. I used to have $100 left over at the end of the month. Now I'm just making it to the very last day with my last like dollar or a handful of quarters. The gas, the just everything, the wear and tear on the car is is ridiculous. And no one's talking about that. People are acting like, yeah, woohoo, everything's fine. No, it's not. This sucks. It's more expensive living on the street than it was living in my house. And that was with paying taxes, okay? It's insane. But yeah, so really think about this, people. Think about it hard. Because it is not a joyride. It's only a joyride if you can afford $45 a night for a campground. That's how much it was costing me to live in my house. So what money are you saving? Not saving no money. It's more expensive to live at the campground than it is in my house. It's over $1,200 now to stay for a month. And that's if you can get a month. Or you just got to keep moving around from campground to campground to campground. And they're all the same price. So, yeah, this is not saving you money in any way. And also, what people aren't thinking is this. Yeah, I could put a diesel heater in here for the winter because it's going to be cold. It's going to be in the 30s in Florida most of the winter. This sucks. Diesel heaters. Yeah, those are cool, but they run on diesel. Our diesel is $5 a gallon. $5 a gallon. So it's going to cost me roughly $10 a day to stay warm in my car. Let's do 10 times 300, 30 days. You got that money just to stay warm all winter long? And what happens when it gets down to, you know, really cold in the 20s? Because it does drop down to 18 degrees in Florida. We do have that here. You'll be running that sucker on medium. You're going to be going through diesel like crazy. I don't got an extra $10 a day for diesel and to put gas in the car and food. Are you kidding me? Hell no. This is crazy. This, you know, people are making it, this is the dream and I'm free. Yeah, it's a dream and you're free if you got 100,000 subscribers. You know what I mean? You need a minimum of, I would say, a minimum of 40,000 subscribers just being on Patreon for the $1.50 a month. That'll get you by on your extra gas and your diesel and stuff like that. If you're doing this and you're just on your own and you ain't no YouTube creator, like, I'm just here because, of how I got on. I was never planning to do this. Hey, Tea Lover, what's up? I only got on because I met Morgan and met you guys, and and I originally started the channel was to document my life as a September 11th first responder and to go through my diagnoses and my cancers one at a time and show people what was happening to us, because we were being treated horribly. We are still being treated horribly. And the reason why, and I'm going to explain to you, which I didn't want to get into this, but this is what the channel is about. The reason why the other doctor's not helping me and just told me, okay, see you, bye, let me know if something goes wrong, is political. Completely fucking political. I cannot tell you the horrible shit that has been said to me in the last 10 years trying to get a doctor down here. The crap I went through in New York and New Jersey was despicable bullshit. Letting people die because they didn't want these numbers to get any higher. I want people to know what's been going on, and it's probably backwards. I'll take a snapshot of this, okay? Because you're probably reading it backwards. They don't want these numbers any higher. And the numbers that they posted in the paper and online, only New York City. No one, and I mean no one, and that's why this channel got started. Richard and I started this channel. That's why it's called JayneWayne. My father looked just like John Wayne. So they used to goof on me because I was such a hard ass being raised by a Marine, Daddy's not home, you gotta do this shit for yourself. Get up, get up, get up. Taught me everything he knows as a Delta Force, survival guy. And to make sure that when he wasn't home, my mom and I could take care of ourselves. And then with the polio, bullshit I had to deal with growing up, to fight every single day and not take shit from people and, get it done, get her done. But I forgot where I was going with this. Oh, so as a joke, because I was such a hard ass, everybody used to call me the John instead of his real name. Yo, JW, John Wayne. They call my father the Duke because he looked exactly like John Wayne. So they used to call me little Jane Wayne, and it was just a joke. It was a nickname that stuck. And during 9/11, he brought it up again. getting her done. And during Hurricane Sandy, go little Jane, yo. He used to laugh at me. You're so tiny and you're doing this shit for a living. How do you do it? This is insane. And so that's where the channel came from and where the name came from, Oh, hold on. Taking care of business here. Oh, come on. They're going to do this one at a fucking time. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the internet, everything's like freezing up. All right, it's close enough. Up. It's freezing up. It doesn't say family friendly, asshole. It says right on it, not made for children. This is why I don't do this during the day. because, you know, people sitting in their mama's basement got nothing better to freaking do. Yeah, that's another, you know, 5-year-old's got nothing better to do, sponging off his parents, living in the basement. Get a fucking job, bro. Sorry. But, yeah, it was just madness. It was madness. And he was very upset, and the doctor was angry that she did nothing. And this is ridiculous, just let you walk out the door. Why? She wasn't going to make any money off of you? I said, I have no idea, but she wasn't very nice. Health, you know, you're there to save people, you know, regardless. And I really never understood the animosity towards firemen and anybody coming to save your ass. You know, we save people's lives for a living. That's all we do. And to have, when we needed someone to just kick us in the teeth, and you know, the whole world saw what happened to us live on television. And for the hospital that was a half a mile away, receiving everybody, to turn their backs on us and refuse our diagnoses, I try not to talk about it because it's insane what happened to us and how many died. This list of how many people have died at 50,000 is more like 100,000, you freaking assholes. That does not include New Jersey. It does not include anyone who came from Florida. No one else but NYPD, NYFD, or students or residents of New York City. They don't even give a shit enough to include about, I'd say, 3,000 people who came from Florida. Another couple of hundred people that came from Pennsylvania. People came as far away as California. People came from other countries to America to help us for 2.5 years. They ain't on this list. Why? Because they want to keep that at 50,000. Because they didn't want to admit that this is the first time in 24 years that the residents of the state of New York City are actually included. Actually, it's the first time ever that anybody just living there was included. My town is 3 miles long by a mile wide, and over 300 women came down with the same exact breast cancer that is not, it's not a BRCA gene. It's not an inherited gene. It is totally and solely due to toxic chemical poisoning. And we got two separate kinds of breast cancer that are not inherited, not self-inflicted in any way, no matter what you ate, smoked, drank, whatever you did. There's no way for you to actually do it to yourself. And they're not included, and they're still 24 years not included in that list. That's the New York Post. That was this paper here. Yeah, a grim tally. Are you freaking kidding me? That's not even close. Not even close to the real amount. I had 11 children die in my town of leukemia. Because of the original list, and I won't say the name of the bitch who was in charge of getting this list out, but her last name begins with a C, and her husband's name was Bill, said it was 10 chemicals that weren't even, that aren't on the actual real list of 157 toxic chemicals that we were exposed to. 11 of my friend's children died of leukemia between the ages of 6 and 13 because the insurance stopped paying because that bitch put that list out. And Rand Paul, who's now trying to kiss everybody's ass and be on the good side, don't feel sorry for him being beat up, having his ribs broken and gotten spit in his face. Some guy punched him in the face and like dislocated his jaw. Another guy beat the ever-loving shit out of him coming out of a press conference and broke all the ribs on this side of his body because they were husbands of first responding women. Because of him and her together, sticking together, because they had one on the left and he came from the right and kissed her ass and swore to God that's all it was, because I'm a doctor. Yeah, you're a fucking doctor. You're a fucking brain surgeon from Johns Hopkins in New York City. From New York City, the one place that was turning us down and refused to give us our diagnoses. It was the most horrible thing that we've gone through for 50. That's why I'm here. I had to come all the way to Florida to get the truth. To get the truth. Yeah, the electric blankets are ridiculous. I paid $60 for one, and it only lasted a couple of months. Half of it stopped getting hot. Then the whole thing stopped getting hot. I threw it out. The best thing that I found is the heated car seat. For your car seat, your driver's seat, when you get into the winter and you plug it into the cigarette lighter 12-volt plug. That I spent $10 on that thing. I'm gonna get another one when they cut. They should be out probably starting next month. There was stuff I needed to do next month, and this is not one of them. Lord, not one of them. To get another electric car seat. That was the best thing ever. I just put it under the bed and laid on it, and if and flipped over. If I had two of them, I could have laid sandwiched in between, one on top and one on the bottom. They only take 10 watts. 10 watts. That's nothing. Nothing on these batteries to run all night. Probably used 30% of the battery just to run that heating pad all night long, and that was fine by me. Because in the winter, where I was talking about the stupid solar panel, thank you for changing the subject. I was getting nuts there. Thank you. My head hurts. The glass solar panels are not good for the winter. Not good at all. I need the folding plastic because that glass is not going to get hot in the winter. It's not getting hot now. And it's 88 degrees with the sun beaming on it. And I'm getting 11 out of 25 watts. I'll be getting 3 watts once this drops down. So, yeah, not good. But, yeah, sorry, I'm worked up. It's been a hell of a couple of weeks. With Charlie and the day before 9/11, it's been madness. In 7 days, I will never forget this. 1 week, we had 11 funerals in 7 days. I used to be in charge of making the funeral arrangements. When everybody started getting sick and dying, we took over in the town with the town hall and the local funeral and said, listen, people can't deal with this. They are devastated and destroyed, and we took it upon ourselves. If you want to use this funeral home, yes, we do. It was a town funeral home. I said, we got this. We made all the arrangements. I made all the phone calls. All the family had to do was show up one time at the funeral parlor, sign the papers, make any final decisions as far as like caskets was concerned. We ordered the flowers. The town paid for them. We got the book. We did everything. The only thing the families had to do was show up. My mother's funeral was covered. The town picked up the cost because of what she did for 30 years, which was really nice. But I'm just, after meeting all those people at the ceremony the other day, they're all from New York, New Jersey, Long Island, Staten Island, from all over Pennsylvania. And why? They're all here. They're all here because 24 years later, they still are being treated like shit, getting their stuff paid for in New York and New Jersey. They had no choice but to come here. I couldn't believe the amount of people that are still pouring in down here because they can't get it up there, even though they're doing it, but they make it so hard for you to get your diagnosis up there still because they don't want that tally going any higher. You really think in 25 years that's all that died? No, 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 not even close. Uh, but yeah, but getting back to this is insane. This is insane. By necessity, yeah, you know, on the scale of things, it could be worse, you know? Please, Lord, and we ain't looking for worse, okay? Not enough with the car breaking down like every 2 months here. And that's the other thing. If you're unprepared and, you know, don't have enough money to go out and buy a $130,000 van, that's insane. I can't believe Chrome went out and spent that money on that car and what he's putting into it. That car is going to be for the amount of money he just spent on the vehicle. Empty itself was unbelievable, the price. Number one. Number two, he's putting in what? About 50,000, 60 grand worth of build and air conditioners and heaters. By the time he's done, that Sprinter van that now he can't take off road, when I saw one of his videos, he can't even go to the same places he used to go. Now he's trapped with that van, okay? He could have bought a smaller size RV besides the gas for that thing. Holy crap. I can barely afford filling up this. I have a 24-gallon tank. I cannot let it get past half full. I can't afford to fill her up like that. But he would have been better off doing that. Getting a smaller version. I took a picture of one today. I'll post it. It's called a Rialto. It still fits in a parking spot. It's probably, if I'm 22 and a half feet, they're probably 26 feet. Okay, they got another 4 feet onto the back, but it's maybe probably 8 inches taller than my minivan. It's not that much taller. It's longer, but not too much taller than this minivan. This one is jacked up in the air, this particular model. I'm not riding low on the ground like a car. Like you get in, you got to get down into the minivan. No, this thing you got to climb up into it. It's like getting into a truck, a pickup truck. This is like a pickup truck minivan. Thank God I found this one, Lord. But you need a Rialto. Would have been way better off for $80,000 having everything in it. And if you wanted to rearrange some stuff in the middle, but he's going to spend over $300,000 on that thing. I want to know what the insurance is on it per month for a vehicle that expensive. So that's what I'm saying. Unless you got a huge following or you're very wealthy and have a side job, this is, forget it. It's expensive and it's expensive. It's killing your car. Killing the car. Tires, shocks, brakes. How many times you're gonna have to replace your brakes 3 times sooner than you would anywhere else. Your shocks, running around these campgrounds, in all these roads, it damages the car big time. Big time. That's what I realized when I first started. I can't keep going to these crazy campgrounds and free camping and boondocking. Are you crazy? I'm gonna blow out a tire, blow an axle, a shock, the suspension. There's a million things that can go wrong just with your tires hitting the wrong hole, hitting a hole that's way too deep for your tire. So please think about it. If you got no choice, you got no choice. But to outright sell your house and do this on purpose and think you're saving any kind of money, it's please don't listen to these people, because half of them are still living in a house. A lot of them are getting caught that they've been lying to you for like 8 years, 10 years now. They all got huge ass storage units. They're not driving around being a minimalist. Everybody got a big ass storage unit that you could drive that Sprinter van into. I don't know why they all lied about that. I really don't. And it, you're putting people's lives in danger, lying to them, and then lying about where you're staying. And then, oh, I'm using this thing and it keeps me warm all winter long. No, it's not. 3 people just got busted by accident because they screwed up and forgot they never told anybody what they were using to be warm. Oh, I was reviewing this for the last 2.5 years and forgot to tell you guys about it. I wasn't ready to make a review on it yet. No, you screwed up. It got in one of your videos. People snagged you on your lie, and then they had to make up another lie saying that they were testing it for 2 years to make sure it's a really good product just for you. Bullshit. No, this woman was lying to you for 2.5 years. I deleted and blocked her channel. And this is somebody who is, big camping buff and, you know, honest about having a home base, but lying to you about camping in the middle of winter. You're going to get someone killed saying that I'm using something this big to keep me warm at minus 20 degrees up in the Colorado Rockies. No, you're not. You're using a full-size giant freaking heater this big and told no one. 3 people died and froze to death this winter. You do know that, right? In their cars. They froze to death. One kid was 21. There was another guy who was like 26. And I think it was a woman in her 30s. Froze to death in her car, believing some idiot who said this was keeping her warm. Froze to death in their cars. Dummies. And these were people who weren't YouTube creators. They were watching like I was, trying to get ideas because I'm about to be homeless any minute. They're going to show up and kick me out of my house. I know that. I do evacuations. I knew exactly how long I had before I was getting kicked out of my house for the mold. Oh my God. Ah, jeez. Yeah, like everyone in the street. I had to take, I was in charge. We had, I was in charge of the triage tents, decontamination showers, and then processing everybody getting off the boats to get them onto the right bus so we could take them home. My shed, now that was all on the waterfront. I couldn't even get close to getting down there to where I was being posted for 9 months. I took a shower with a sheet with my mother and the maintenance man in my building holding a king size sheet while I'm trapped in the corner of the apartment building with a garden hose and a bucket and a gallon of bleach and a bucket of water and a sponge. People were throwing stuff in my apartment building out the window. They were throwing out towels, sponges, soap, and then one lady brought down a whole shopping cart. She went around. They brought me the maintenance. One of the other maintenance men, he's got a pass key. He went into my apartment. He said, "Where can I get you a change of clothes?" I said, "In the bathroom before I left for work. I had a pair of sweatpants and a t-shirt, and my sneakers should be right by my front door." He went up to my apartment, grabbed my sweats, my t-shirt, and my sneakers, and brought them down. So I was able to get back up into my. I couldn't go into my apartment. I couldn't enter my apartment building, covered in dust like that. My car was destroyed. It was contaminated. Nobody could ever get in or drive in my vehicle ever again. We had to explain to Richard's children, who were very young then. His daughter, I think, was 5 when it happened, and I always had to leave my car home. He would have to come all the way to come get me because I didn't even want to drive my car into his driveway by his house. I ended up selling my car to another first responder. Bought it because I couldn't even sell my car. I couldn't sell my car. You can't. It had to be either give it to somebody else who's already been contaminated, or destroy it. And it would have cost me probably, I don't know, $15,000 to get that car taken away and disposed of properly. And we didn't even have anything then. It had just happened. Hi, Bridget. Yeah, that car heater seat is the best option. Forget about those blankets. And I only use it on low. And then you can turn it on and off because underneath the blankets it's nice and hot. Just put it under a comforter. I got some flannel sheets and I just tucked it under the flannel sheet. Got my little remote. That was the best thing ever. And it covers you from here, from say your head down to your knees. And you can move it. I moved it instead of having it under, under my head. I just put it from my shoulders pretty much down to my ankles. My feet are always hot, so they were always sticking out anyway. And I just bought just in case, because all of a sudden it's gonna go from 90 to 80 to like 60. And I know 60 like springtime, but when you're going from 100 degrees every day down to 60, you need these guys. They just came out. All this just came out at the dollar store. So I grabbed a pair really quick so I could have something out. Plus being sick, the cancer, I get cold really quick sometimes. I grabbed those. I was like, I can't believe those are out already. I really can't. But what the hell time is it? It's 12 o'clock. I got on here for 5 minutes. This is supposed to be a 5-minute update video. Surprise! But yeah, I'm gonna have to, instead of putting up videos till I get the new solar panel, go back to doing what I was doing before with the live streaming. It's easier. I just turn the phone off and YouTube takes over, because right now they're recording it. I'm not recording this on my phone. It's being recorded through YouTube. So the uploading is on them, not me, which was good. Oh, everything is Christmas. I had to go through the, when I went to the craft store. Oh, that's what I had found. I was wearing my letter C. Wait, oh, now you're going to be a jerk about it? Of course it is. Will you stop that? Oh, it was wound up during the thing. The necklace is mine, but I had found the C. This was a keychain. It was $2. So I had the big C for Charlie and Christ. I got the little one. I've been wearing it every day. He's gonna stay right there, but I had the big one when I want to make a better statement. The big C, Charlie and Christ. Yeah. So when I went into the craft store, it was all Christmas. Thank God it was more Thanksgiving holiday music. It wasn't Christmas songs yet, because yeah, that is gonna be one of the last times I get into that store. I can't take it. Yeah, I thought this was cute. I had wanted it. I was looking in the store and it came to me and said, I'm going to go get the biggest letter C I can find. I was going to do a short on it, tell everybody get a big C and wear it for Charlie. That poor woman. Oh my God, every time I think about her, I start crying again. Been a rough week. Bringing up stuff about Richard and, you know, I've been trying hard. You know, it's 4 years. It'll be 4 years November 1st that he's gone. And I can't believe that much time's gone by already. I really can't. It's like it happened yesterday. I feel so sorry for her. Like I said, about a week from now, although she might not go, she will go through that, being alone, you know, in the bed. That was it. Richard died. I shut the bedroom door. I put this cross. This was the cross from my mother's coffin. I hung this on the door, and a poem that Richard had liked that I had put up near the bedroom door. He said he liked that it was there. I can't even remember what it said. I'd had it forever, and he'd always liked it. And I had hung that poem in a frame on the door, and I never opened my bedroom door. I never slept in my room. I had just bought us the most nicest blanket I could find that he liked, the Sherpa and the flannel, because he had a lot of pain from football injuries. He played football, and I mean hard football, for 12 years, and he'd taken a lot of hits. He wasn't a big guy. He was 5'8". He was tough guy, like a Mike Tyson. All right, Richard was like the physique of Mike Tyson. Short guy, but knock you out, one punch, boom, to the ground, lights out. He missed his calling. Although he didn't like fighting, it was funny. He could knock you out with a punch and then be on the ground holding you because he felt sorry for what he did. Like he didn't know his own strength sometimes, even as a little kid. He had they had revved him up really bad, really bad in a game, and it was not Pop Warner, not for the little guys. I think he was in 7th or 8th grade. It was the next one up before high school football, and they revved him up so bad to get this kid, get him, hurt him, get him. And that was it. They sent him off. They revved him up so much that on the next play, they sent him in, get him out of this game. And Richard tackled the guy, and he grabbed him, and he was twice his size, and he just grabbed him and threw him down to the ground. He broke the kid's shoulder, his arm, and his wrist. Richard walked off the field, went over and sat down next to him, and apologized. Said he was sorry, apologized to his whole team, apologized to the coach, apologized. He stopped the game and was just apologizing to everyone for what he had done. And he didn't want to play football ever again. Never again after what he did, you know. What the hell was I saying? I lost, just, you know, I don't know where I was going with that. I keep thinking, like, all kinds of memories are coming up, and it just reminds, you know, the shock and the just split second loss of, you know, everything's fine. 2 hours later, your life is over. You know, it's been rough. It's been rough. I've had this to distract me. A couple weeks after he died, the first hurricane came. It's been like a non-stop bunch of crap that's, I think, been distracting me, you know. And the other night, watching her and looking at the two of them, looking like the two of us, you know, all those pictures of it from far away reminded me of him and her. He looks like Charlie, you know what I mean? When I look just at the views from far away of their photographs, and it didn't dawn on me that, you know, that's it. In 3 hours, my life was over. Went to the doctor, came home, and Richard was gone. He was dead. He was dead. He died in his sleep of a heart attack. But the shock of it didn't hit me for about a week till everyone went home. And then the house started falling. The hurricane, the house was falling apart. We were in the middle of fixing it. And then the hurricane came, and the next season, I was just getting myself back on my feet again. And then the next year, the hurricanes came. And Hurricane Ian and Nicole came back to back, back to back, back to. We had nothing but back to back storms that were just relentless here after he passed away. And the tornado lifting up the house, and then Hurricane Nicole came and lifted up the other side and dropped the house back down. I knew the house was gone. The minute we crashed back down from the first time of lifting me up and throwing me and Mouse off the couch, I couldn't believe the house lifted up that high. But it's been one distraction after another. You know, I haven't had a minute in 4 years just to sit and cry, you know, about him being gone. I didn't have time. I was like, I can't sit here crying about this because the house is falling apart. I gotta have a plan. We just sold our pull trailer, and I am not kidding you. We waited 2.5 years to make sure we were going to stay here after we got here and my grandma died 6 months later, to make sure we were really staying before he sold the trailer in Pennsylvania. We finally sold the trailer in 2018. 2 years, 3 years later, he died. And I thought, we were gonna I told him to bring it down, have someone tow it down, and then we have a free parking spot for our pull trailer because we own, you know, a double wide, okay, a foundationed mobile home, okay, that we could park our double wide for free right around the corner from the house. I tried to talk him into it. He didn't want to keep it. He said, oh, it's going to get damaged from the hurricane anyway. We're going to need money to fix up this one. And something kept bothering me, and we had a huge argument over selling that trailer. And something was bothering me. I said, what happens when something happens to this one? And we got nowhere to go. Oh, we got the hotel. We could always live there for a while, and blah, blah, blah. You know, plans, better laid plans. Better laid plans. And then everything just went nuts. So I haven't had time to really snap. I never had that crying for 6 hours, letting it out kind of thing till the other day, watching her after she was talking. And then I saw the picture of the two of us, and I was gone. I just sat here till like 2 in the morning crying. Oh, it's been a little hairy. It's been too many memories, too many anniversaries, too much crap. I think just for everybody, you know, any woman or any husband who's lost their spouse right now is reliving something like that, especially if you lost them very quickly. That wasn't a long drawn out illness, you know, car accidents, heart attacks. Those are, or being killed. Okay, those are the worst ways to lose your partner. You know, even a family member, just to be gone in a matter of minutes, you know? So it's getting hot. I'm wondering why I'm sweating so much. It's almost 1 o'clock here. So I'm also about to run, I forgot, out of battery. Crap. Yeah. All right. I'm getting low on the batteries because I'm not really getting much. I didn't plan on this. This was supposed to be a 10-minute thing. We've been on for how long now? An hour and a half. Oh Lord. I met a woman who had brain cancer. Ah, jeez. That's awful. Especially something like that. My mom had the smallest size tumors my mother was growing uh were baseballs, softballs, and grapefruit size tumors. It's amazing what can grow inside, and not affect you. I mean, maybe have some issues, you know what I mean? But the one woman, she had children. She was a Marine. She worked for bomb disposal, just going around collecting stuff that didn't explode or stuff that were duds or whatever. So they spent like 4 or 5 years, this one group, driving around picking up unexploded ordnance, digging up stuff in the roads, in towns, um, that they had planted for the army, but little kids were being blown up that were living there, okay? So they were clearing them for the people who live there. So they wouldn't keep getting blown up by unexploded stuff, but she ended up with brain cancer. She had 2 children, young kids. She had a 8-year-old and a 13-year-old, and she ended up with the brain cancer. It was bad. It was bad. I'm sorry for your friend. That's an awful. That's why this never gets X-rayed no more. I had one CAT scan of the brain a couple years ago. Little itty bitty spots. I said, that's it. That's the one place I don't want to know about it. I'll know right away. Trust me. Trust me. I'll figure it out. That's the only one I don't want to know about. And probably the only one I won't end up getting because of what's happening now. That was my other thing. Was like if I didn't get the colon cancer like my mom, my father never got brain cancer, not once ever, never, not a spot, nothing. I have three only because it went up my nose, in my mouth, in my ears. I woke up every once in a while. I wake up, I got blood coming out of my ears because the little bones inside my ears are disintegrating, um, from the bone cancer. That freaked me out a little bit this morning. It hasn't happened for a long time, and both my ears were bleeding today. Um, so I got a lot to talk to him about next month. But yeah, so we got a month to go to see, but we pretty much know it anyway. My doctor just wants a backup, just a backup in case he can think of something, of anything, any possible way, because I can't put the feeding tube in. If I could have had that done, but then you got to have a bag put on. You have to have a colostomy bag and a feeding tube put in. And if anybody has seen Bruce Van Life Jr., that poor dude is going through worse than I am right now because he's been there with the tube down the nose. That was the one thing they wanted to do, where they take out the extra fluid in your stomach. But that only lasts for a while. But yeah, I can't have none of that done. So I'm on my own as far as that's concerned. I can't deal with the infection, everything plastic. I develop sepsis. I develop a blood infection. And the last time I barely made it through it when they put the PICC line in for the chemotherapy. In 14 hours I was septic, which sent me back into the hospital for 3 straight months, just curing the sepsis to start the chemo again. So I had to switch the kind of chemo that I was using to cure the sepsis that the chemo PICC line gave me. You know, that's why I tell you, plastic. Everybody's running around cleaning stuff with plastic, you know, wooden spoons and silicone, okay, with vinegar and water. I am a first responder, triage medic. You cannot sanitize anything. And I don't care what anyone tells you. You can't do it. It doesn't clean. It smells nice and it might cut through the grease. But the only thing that you can do that with is rubbing alcohol or bleach. That's it. And 50-50 mix. 50 water, 50 alcohol. You can cut this down by 50%, 70%, and it's still effective. We had no one died. No one got any infections during 2.5 years of running our evacuation shelter with Hurricane Superstorm Sandy. 2.5 years before the last person got placed in a home in New Jersey. Yet Florida's got half the state homeless because they could care less. New Jersey, we left no one on the street. Not one person in New Jersey during her Superstorm Sandy was left homeless. No one. That's what angers me so much about. I love this state, but the people who run it are just, they don't care. They don't care. They care less. So, and wood, don't use wood. Wood cannot be sanitized. Plastic, not silicone, only stainless steel. And that's sanitized to about 80%. You know, it's as sanitized as you're gonna get. Nothing is 100%, not even in the hospital. Nothing. That's why every time you have an operation, they pump you through antibiotics, because not even stainless steel can be 100% free of bacteria. But 35 years of my mother being a first responder and running these things, that's where I took over my mom's job. Running a Meals on Wheels kitchen, a restaurant where you are hounded relentlessly by the state, by the Board of Health, by all kinds of people coming in, checking us. No one ever gave us vinegar and water to clean anything but the windows. That's it. And glass has so many holes in it, microscopic holes in it. That's why everything being used, say, by, let's just take like the military. Everything is stainless steel and metal. Your canteen, your fork and knife, your little, here, all your camping crap is stainless steel. No one's using wood. No one's using plastic. No one's using silicone. That's it. Metal. If that can be the best thing I can tell you, is to please make sure. Just mix vinegar and water in my bottle. That's what I got here. I use this, and when this is done, I just use this for spraying the sink and stuff so it smells good. The plastic stuff in here, the plastic sink and things. This is this is half alcohol, half water. Or sometimes, and then I have another one up front that's half bleach and alcohol. So please do that. I gotta get off because this battery's dying. I won't be able to see what you're saying, and that one's about to go soon anyway. Thank you for watching. This was only supposed to be 5 minutes, but thank you. Thanks for listening. You know, this has become more group therapy than a van life channel. Oh, Lord. Van life group therapy, right? Yeah, that dawn, especially down here with the bugs and fleas, and if you're camping in the woods, I don't know what's in that soap, but that kills those things. They go running. And what I used to do, around my campsite and around my house, around the mobile home. Richard, because he worked for the hotel, I can say it now, he's gone, was coming home with the gallon size uh, Dawn. Gallon size Dawn. They used it a lot over at the hotel. This is where I got the trick from. He would walk with a squeeze bottle, put some in a plastic bottle, and just walk and make a huge line of Dawn dish detergent in the grass. They were getting him in the maintenance room, and then he was doing this all over the sidewalk. And he said, I tested it out. It'll kill the fleas in the grass. It'll make a line across between your concrete and your grass, at least by your front doors, near your cars, where you're parking them. If you live in a buggy area where you got a lot of fleas, I don't know about roaches, but it kept the fleas out. We have so much sand everywhere. You know, everybody thinks there's sand fleas that are biting you. Those aren't fleas living in the sand. The fleas live in the grass, in the dirt. What's in the sand are little bug mites. Like the bed bugs. All right, they're kind of a bed bug that lives in the sand. And those are hard to get rid of. And they can make you sick. They're horrible, and those bites hurt. So it's not sand fleas that they're calling, and they just don't want to tell you. The little itty bitty nasty little bed bugs that live in the sand. They're yucky. Yeah, I always keep it, yeah, in the spray bottle. Always. Always. So when I started doing that, mouse, never had flea shots, never put a collar on him, because the first time I did, I thought my cat was going to die. Richard never put a flea collar on his dogs. We don't do that. No, the soap. The soap. Just use the soap. Mouse hated it, but he got used to it because he realized if mommy washed him, well, I didn't. Richard washed Mouse in the sink. Because we had him since he was a kitten, and we got him used to it. Didn't like it, but he let Daddy do it because he realized if Daddy didn't give him a bath, he was scratching. He was scratching like crazy. And after he got it once, I forget where Mouse got the fleas from. I think Richard brought him home from work, and he had his shoes on, because when I got in the car one time, I was being bombarded on my ankles. Bing, 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 bing. I jumped out of the car, ran into the house, grabbed some bug spray, sprayed the car, shut the door, went back inside. Needless to say, I didn't go food shopping that day. And then Mouse broke out with a million. That poor cat got bombarded. He was freaking. I felt he was traumatized because he had never had a flea in his life. And then one day and they got him because he was laying on Richard's sneakers from the sand, and the mites and the fleas got him. That poor cat was a disaster. A disaster. It took us weeks to get him off of him. But, yeah. Okay, I think that's enough. Did we cover everything? I hope so. I don't think there's a topic we haven't discussed today. I kept thinking there was something else. I know there is. If I think of it, I'll put up a post. So, be on the lookout for these. I'll try to do them more at night because right now I am sweating to death. And let me go because I'm about to lose my batteries. And like I said, I'm only getting 8 watts at noon. Now you think I'd be pulling in more because the glass is hot. And I went to pick it up yesterday and forgot it was glass. Yeah, I burnt my hand. That's it. Be careful. Be safe. Be calm. It will pass, hopefully. And I'll see you guys in a couple of days. Let me get my stuff charged. I love you guys. Thanks for coming. And we'll do another one at night and give me a couple of days, okay? Bye, everybody. Bye, Kim. I'm trying to see the rest of the names. I don't know if I can. It's letting me scroll back up. Carefree, Teresa, Carol, if you're still here. Kim, Carefree, Carol. No, Ronaldo, he left a while ago. T-Lover, Milo. I'm trying to get everybody's names in. I think that's it. And Greg. Sorry about Greg. You still here? And Maria. I think I got everybody who's here. No. Cosmocrat? I think you're new, but I remember seeing your name somewhere. Probably in another chat. Alright, if I missed you, I'm sorry. I'll see you guys soon. Give me a couple of days to recharge, okay? Bye, everybody. Have a good day. What's today? Happy Taco Tuesday. I forgot. Happy Taco Tuesday. Have a good day. See you probably maybe Thursday, okay? Bye, everybody. I don't know how I'm getting off because I don't have my buttons down here.